CTM in Focus is what we're calling the original reporting you'll see only on CBS This Morning, exposing new information on issues that impact us all. Today, an inside look at the business of location tracking. We're learning new details about how advertisers track our location through our phones and how criminals could exploit that information. More than 1,000 apps reportedly collect location data, fueling an estimated $21 billion market. But lawmakers and some tech leaders argue it must be regulated. Tony Dokoupil obtained some of the sensitive data thanks to a whistleblower. Tony, good morning.
Good morning. Here's a story for you. I recently spoke with a young tech worker whose job it was, he says, to buy daily location data on some 80 million Americans. He recently quit that business, though, telling us the industry was failing to secure the information. He was afraid to be recognized on camera, but instead he gave us a list of contacts so we could experience this secretive trade for ourselves.
Your submission has been received.
Over the winter, we began calling, emailing,
Send.
and texting our way into the location data business.
So we're looking for, I guess you call it device IDs with lat-long timestamps.
Location data typically comes from apps that log the movements of a person's phone. Often people aren't even aware the terms and conditions of these programs allow the information to be collected. The data is then sold to aggregators, who in turn sell it to advertisers looking for consumer trends.
I'll send the email, then we'll also call.
We wanted to know who else gets a hold of that information.
All right, here we go.
6 major data companies pitched us their product,
Okay.
unaware they were actually talking to a journalist.
The breadcrumbing effect? What is that?
One company promised to track people as often as every 7 seconds. Another said they could prove the quality of the data by tracking my phone. Still another pledged to deliver people's location in real time. And all promised information on tens of millions of phone users every day, including at home. With a few emails and a phone call, we got this sample of data showing the movements of more than 1,500 phones over the course of a single day in one of the richest zip codes in America, Greenwich, Connecticut.
And the fact that you were able to get so much data on the American citizens that live up here is quite disturbing.
Adam Scott Want studies big data at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. He helped us analyze the risks in a neighborhood like this one.
That is a big house. Wow,
That house has a private separate wing.
Wow.
No names or phone numbers were tied to the data, but it was easy to figure out who each phone belongs to based on where they spend their nights here in Greenwich.
It's a place that invests heavily in privacy and security. But this data allowed us to go beyond all that, to follow as people move through the community. And at some of these larger homes, we could even track as people moved from room to room.
One phone pinged in the morning inside a $7 million mansion. The person then visited a country club before heading downtown and returning home. Another phone pinged someone's location 231 times as he or she left home for an hour to run an errand.
This is a very large sample set, lots of
Want
entries.
explained how this could be valuable information to a potential criminal.
If you're able to monitor your target, your mark, and you're able to tell when they're driving, when they're not, perhaps when they're having an affair with their mistress, it becomes much easier to take advantage of them and extort.
It's compromising information.
It's extremely compromising information.
But it's perfectly legal. No federal law limits the collection or use of this data, though there have been calls for regulation. In a Time magazine op-ed, Apple CEO Tim Cook called on the feds to rein in data brokers and allow consumers to track the transactions that have bundled and sold their data. We wanted to find out how the people being tracked feel about all this.
Is he coming home soon?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Of the 2 homeowners we were able to reach, one told us he was alarmed, but didn't want to appear on camera. The other's reaction caught us by surprise.
We want to make you aware that a phone in this household is being tracked in real time by a data location company, and we want to invite you to see the data and respond if you'd like.
Why would I care? I don't think I want to do it. I'm not worried about it.
You're not worried about it?
No.
These phones are treasure troves.
Want warns many Americans are overlooking the potential consequences of sharing their location data.
That guy just walked by. If I followed him down the street, he'd be looking over his shoulder, and eventually he would ask me to stop.
Yeah.
But his phone is following him right now just the same way and sending that data to some database, most likely.
It is. He is willfully ignoring the security risk and the privacy risks of carrying the phone for the convenience it provides him.
The things we do for convenience. Now, we asked executives at 8 different location data companies for an interview, and all 8 declined or never got back to us. Some told us that they do take privacy seriously and have safeguards in place, but none was willing to divulge which apps are selling this data, let alone who's buying the data. If you want to find out how you can adjust your apps, go to your settings in your phone, and there should be a button there where you can turn off the location services, but of course then a lot of inconvenience is coming your way.
Right. Well, right. So it's in the privacy section under settings. It's like the last one, and then you can do location services on or off.
But every time you use maps or car service, you're going to have trouble.
I've tried to turn it off, but then I find myself forced to kind of turn it back on for things like that.
And when you turn it off, are you really turning it off?
Yeah, that's the other question.
You know, I mean, other than with a sledgehammer, I'm thinking there's no way.
If you throw it into the ocean, you're fine. Other than that, be worried.
Official finding.
Yeah.
Right.